Hey guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today, I am doing a review on a book that I was sent by a publisher, Hogarth Press, which is a subgenre of Penguin Random House. And the book knocked the wind out of me. I don't know what just hit me. I finished it last night. This is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. And the main character, Young Hai. Okay. You want to talk about madness and mental illness? This is right there. So, this touches on everything, and I will say there are some trigger warnings in here for people with sexual assault priors and people who have struggles with. I honestly don't really want to eat meat right now. Not because it really just defies like meat information, but because she was treated so poorly by people being so terrified of her being a vegetarian that it was horrifying. It was terrible. There was no reason. It was uncalled for. So this woman is the ultimate wife in the, I want to say, for Asian culture. She is docile, she is sweet, she is kind, and she does what her husband says in the beginning. So she is in a loveless marriage where he tolerates her. He doesn't really find her attractive, but he knows what his rights are as a husband, and he wakes up every morning and she makes him breakfast, and he goes to sleep every morning and every night and she makes him dinner, and they sleep in the same bed and they share a life together. It's very dry, it's very unmoving, and their relationship is very unloving. One day, the husband comes into the kitchen and all of the meat has been taken out of the fridge and is being tossed, and she is standing there completely disheveled. Now, he doesn't understand what's going on and begins to lecture her on how this needs to be solved and fixed, and it should be done by the time he gets back from work. He's also yelling at his company that he'll be a little late because something is wrong. Okay, let me just start by saying, if I came downstairs, my mother is a vegetarian and my sister is a vegan, so those things aside, if I came downstairs and my father was standing in his underwear in front of the fridge with all the meat out and completely disheveled and looking like something went wrong, and he told me he had a dream that made him go vegetarian, I would call the ambulance and I would take the day off. I don't have anywhere to go because I'm unemployed, but my point is, my mother would take the day off, my sister would take the day off, we would all take the day off, and we would be in the ER with my father until something got sorted, because God darn it, there is no reason why this gentleman doesn't understand that his wife has completely lost it. Right there, like right in that moment, it should have been clear. So it escalates, and he comes home that night and he's not served meat, and he gets furious and completely angry at her, and she just stays calm and posed the entire time, and it's creepy and weird. And at first I was like, this woman's completely nuts, and then you're like, yes, this woman is completely nuts. But then the more you read, the worse things get for her, and I'm like, oh, like it okay. So anyway, there are 3 different perspectives from the story. 4, if you count hers, because there are glimpses of her thoughts, which are very poetic and beautiful. But she talks very rarely, and she's a woman of few words. Even in the story, she doesn't talk very frequently. And I think I will also do a spoilery gush video of this, because even though it is 5 stars for me, it infuriated me, which I think was part of the point. So the 2 other people that do narrate the story are the husband, well, the 3 people that narrate the story: her husband, her brother-in-law, and her sister, and they all have very different opinions on her and what is happening and her insanity and things that are changing. And it's so hard to do this without spoiling things because it was just so beautiful. But I will say, the brother-in-law has over-sexualized her in his own mind, and he has this like image of her in his head where he's like obsessed with her and he's put her on this pedestal, and the sister is just completely devastated because her sister has completely lost her mind, and she is completely I mean, she feels about the same way I would feel if my sister ended up in a mental hospital or was completely devastated by something and nobody could help her. Like, if it, just awful. I will. Oh, this book. Like, it struck me where I stood, and I was totally excited for it and in love with it, and I will definitely pass it along to other people because it was beautiful and it was wonderful, but it was dark and dreary, and if you don't like that kind of thing, don't read it. Like, period. If you don't like dark books, do not read this. But if you like something that's a little dark and a little creepy, but very beautiful, and a little bit about madness, and a little. If you like something that is compelling and thrilling and beautifully written and absolutely stunning as a story, but very dark and morbid at the same time, but honest. Like, this was such a purely honest story. There was no lies. It was just what it was, and that was beautiful, and that was phenomenal. And I will read anything now that Han Kang comes out with because I'm floored. I am absolutely floored. This knocked the wind out of me, and I have no qualms about rereading it again because it was so beautifully written and so easily read, and I read it in 2 days. I couldn't put it down. It was so stunning. All right, you guys. That is my rambling review on this, and Garth finds this an acceptable review because I can't say enough good things about it, but I can't tell you too much about the plot without giving away too much information. There are some moments in here where you just see pure madness and absolute devastation and quietness, just absolute silence. Like, you can feel the silence that this woman puts out. And you feel so much love and sympathy for her, but at the same time, you can't get near her. She's like this untouchable being because she's so withheld and reserved, and you just don't know what to do with it. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It's so beautiful, and I'm so glad I read it. And if you haven't read it, I would pick it up if you think you can handle it, because it is beautiful. Anyway, you guys, The Vegetarian by Han Kang is available, I believe, or it's available within the next week or so. I think it's available in the US, and I know it's available in the UK. But, guys, go get it. Like, do it and read it, because I originally saw it on Jean's channel. I will link her review down below because she might have said it more eloquently than I did. But go do it, because it is worth every word that's in there. There's nothing excessive about it, nothing unneeded, unnecessary. It was beautiful and wonderful, and honestly, guys, I will see you in the next video, but happy reading with that one, because you're in for a shock. Bye, guys.